Stewart, how important is the CashBack for Communities funding, especially to facilities and grassroots strategies, and can you give us a flavour of where the £2.25 million will be spent?
Well, grassroots is really where it starts for any player coming into Scottish football, and our job is really to try and get as many young people, boys and girls, interested in playing the game as possible. Delighted that we've teamed up with the Scottish Government through their CashBack for Communities programme, because that gives us a number of opportunities to invest, for example, in facilities, and also to invest in trying to bring in more volunteers into the game. So our money helps to train the volunteers, and the government's cashback money is used for initiatives like that. We also have a programme running for equality in football, and that's really to allow opportunities for everybody, disabled players, for example, players from black and ethnic minorities, more investment in the women's game, and really just to try and create chances for everybody who wants to play the game to participate.
Grassroots really hogs the headlines. How important is development in this area and the funding streams that make it possible?
Every professional player playing for Scotland started out as a grassroots player, playing for a boys' club or a girls' club, creating their passion for the game. And what we need to do is to make sure that we can provide the necessary coaching skills, provide the necessary facilities, provide the volunteers to help take them there, bring them back, give them opportunities to get involved.
Are we seeing the first green shoots of the performance strategy in action with the Victory Shield success? The men's under-17s and women's under-17 squads reaching the final, and the women's under-19s doing likewise.
You mentioned the words green shoots, and I think that's a good summary of what we are seeing. If you look back over this season, we can be quite satisfied that we've made progress. So it's definitely a positive. It's definitely a work in progress. But I'd like to see us make progress in the finals themselves before we can really pat ourselves on the back.
To the cynics who'll reserve judgment on the performance schools until players make it through to full A squad level, can you give us a flavour of how the players are developing and how the progress is measured?
They're having coaching from UEFA qualified coaches both before and after school, and the performance school has been one way of doing it. It's obviously a long-term project. Kids are starting at the age of 12. We won't really see the fruits of our labour until probably they reach the age of 15 or 16, start breaking through perhaps into first teams.
With the SPFL title and relegation issues already sorted, there's a degree of excitement about the playoffs. Can you explain the Scottish FA's part in helping the playoffs come to life and our commitment to ensuring that they happen?
When a team runs away with the championship, when there's an early relegation, the playoffs really makes the season come alive right through to the final game. And, for those fans of teams in the bottom six, now it's all about avoiding that 11th place. What the Scottish FA agreed to do was to put in place a funding package of £500,000 in the first season that a club was relegated, and £250,000 for the second season. And we agreed to do that over a 2-year period.
Can you give us an update on the Euro 2020 bid?
We've submitted a really compelling bid, in our opinion, for Glasgow to be one of 13 cities hosting Euro 2020 on the 60th anniversary of the European Championships. And we'll find out in September how we've done, and we're hoping that we'll have made the final cut.
Can you explain the Nations League and what it means for Scotland?
The Nations League is a more meaningful use of the friendly dates, as you and I know them, for international teams. It will be split into 4 divisions, A, B, C and D. Scotland will be in the 3rd division, or the C division, and we will have chance of promotion and relegation into a higher division. We'll have the chance of direct qualification into the final event of both the European competitions and the World Cup, and we'll have greater income coming through from broadcasting and sponsorship.
As we approach the end of the first cycle of the 2020 vision, what have been your most satisfying successes and what are the challenges that still lie ahead?
Yeah, it's been a really interesting 3 or 4 years. Looking back, probably the highlights have been the approval in 2011 of the governance changes, with unanimous support from our members to overhaul the old board and committee structures that existed within the old Scottish FA. We've now had a number of years of the judicial panel system coming into place to deal much more speedily in a much more transparent way with disciplinary matters. Challenges, well, we've still got to work harder to build stronger relationships with the fans. We've got to work harder to build stronger relationships with our own clubs and to try and make some of our initiatives, particularly our academy project, really pay dividends and build confidence that we are heading in the right direction.